You wake up and scroll. Another morning, another list of goals, another video about discipline, another person grinding at 5 a.m., and you think, why can't I be like that? Why don't I feel motivated? You try. You set routines. You download productivity apps. You write to-do lists. But by noon you're back on your phone, lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. Not because you're lazy, but because nothing feels real. Nothing feels like yours. You've been chasing success, achievement, progress, but now it all feels like noise. Like running in circles. Like building a life that looks good from the outside, but feels hollow from within. And that's when the guilt comes. I should be doing more. I should be stronger. I should want this. But what if the problem isn't you? What if the problem is that your soul doesn't see a reason to move forward? Carl Jung noticed this in so many people, not the ones who failed, but the ones who succeeded. They had the job, the house, the partner, the praise. But inside they were empty. He called it the crisis of meaning. Not a lack of willpower, not a lack of discipline, but a lack of purpose. A life that works on the surface but doesn't feed the soul, and when the soul isn't fed, no amount of motivation can save you. You don't need more push. You need more pull. You don't need another goal. You need a reason to care. Because real motivation doesn't come from pressure. It comes from presence, from doing something that makes your chest warm, not just your ego proud. This isn't laziness. This is alignment. You don't feel like working. You don't feel like chasing. You don't feel like pretending to be excited about things that don't touch you. And that's not a flaw. That's awareness. Your inner world is recalibrating. It's asking, what truly matters? What feels real? What brings peace, not just praise? And when nothing in your life answers that question, you feel stuck. Not because you're broken, but because your soul is refusing to move forward in a direction that doesn't resonate. Jung believed that the unconscious doesn't speak in logic. It speaks in symbols, in dreams, in feelings, a sudden pull towards silence, a love for simple things, a need to be alone, a memory from childhood that keeps coming back. These aren't distractions, these are invitations. Your deeper self is trying to guide you, not toward more, but toward meaning. And meaning doesn't come from achievement, it comes from authenticity, from doing something that feels like breathing, from creating, not for applause, but because it makes your soul stretch, from speaking, not to impress, but because it needs to be said. When your work, your relationships, your daily life, and none of it feels meaningful, your psyche slows you down, not to punish you, but to protect you. It's saying, stop, this path isn't yours. You're being asked to stop performing and start living from truth. Motivation follows meaning, not the other way around. Most people think they need motivation to start, but the truth is, motivation is the result, not the cause. You don't find motivation and then discover meaning. You find meaning. And motivation follows. Think of a child drawing. They don't need a reward. They don't need a deadline. They draw because it feels like play, because it feels like freedom. That's what real motivation looks like. Not forcing yourself, not grinding, not pushing through pain, but moving from a place of joy, of curiosity, of inner pull. Carl Jung said that the greatest tragedy of modern life is the unlived life of the adult, the person who gave up their dreams to fit in, to survive, to please. And now their work feels mechanical, their goals feel borrowed, their life feels like a script written by someone else. No wonder they're tired, no wonder they're unmotivated. You can't force energy into something that doesn't feed you. You can't discipline your way out of emptiness. The only way forward is not more effort, it's more honesty. Ask yourself, what used to make me come alive? What did I love before the world told me what to love? What would I do if no one was watching? These aren't small questions. These are sacred ones. And the answers won't come from logic. They'll come from feeling, from a memory, from a dream, from a quiet yes in your chest. That's your soul speaking. And when you finally listen, motivation doesn't have to be forced. It flows. You're not behind. You're being redirected. You look at others and think, they're moving, I'm stuck. But what if you're not stuck? What if you're being redirected? The world celebrates speed, hustle, productivity, but your soul celebrates depth, stillness, resonance. And when those two are out of sync, you feel heavy, not because you're failing, but because you're being asked to slow down, to question, to reorient. Jung believed that before the new self can emerge, the old one must dissolve, and the old self is built on shoulds. I should be more productive, I should be grateful, I should be happy. But the new self is built on is, this is what I feel, this is what I need, this is what matters to me. And that shift doesn't happen in a rush, it happens in silence, in stillness, in the moments when you choose tea over coffee just because it feels calming, when you walk without a destination, when you say no without guilt. These aren't signs of giving up, they're signs of waking up. You're not losing your drive, you're refining it. You're not becoming lazy, you're becoming real. And real motivation doesn't look like grinding. It looks like peace. It looks like showing up not because you have to, but because you finally care. So stop blaming yourself for not feeling motivated. Start asking, what would make me care again? And when you find that, the energy will return. Not because you forced it, but because you finally gave your soul a reason to move. You don't need more motivation. You need a life that finally feels like yours. One that doesn't demand performance, one that doesn't require a mask, one where you don't have to prove anything to feel worthy. Carl Jung spent his life studying people who had everything, success, status, control, but still felt empty. And he realized the human soul doesn't need more. It needs depth, it needs connection, it needs truth, it needs to feel that its life matters. Not to the world, but to itself. So if you're feeling unmotivated right now, don't see it as failure. See it as feedback. Your psyche is saying this isn't working. I need more than this. And that's not weakness. That's wisdom. The kind of wisdom that doesn't come from logic, but from silence, from dreams, from the way your body relaxes when you're alone in nature, from the way your heart opens when you hear a song that feels like home. These are not random. These are signs. The universe whispering, this is real, this is yours. So stop trying to fix yourself. Stop trying to force yourself to care about things that don't. Start following what does. Not because it's productive, not because it's profitable, but because it makes your soul breathe. Because when you do that, motivation doesn't have to be chased. It finds you. And when it does, it won't feel like pressure. It will feel like purpose. Like coming home, like finally living a life that isn't borrowed, but born from within.